don't forget that word of mouth in advertising is still one of the most powerful means of building a brand.
Yeah.
So that's why, like my colleagues here said, if we can have some or two things that people can think, okay, I as a brand, don't forget, as individuals, we're all brands. What do we say about ourselves? Not talk of as brand, we are representing brand Nigeria. What do we connote? So if you don't have anything, if somebody meets you and says something negative about your country, what do you have to respond? It's like a debate. If you have nothing good, so go and dig it. All of us have a collective responsibility to dig out those good things that make people realize, oh, this is what is good. It can go into things as simple as gender. What is good about a woman? What is good about a man? I have answers ready. So I have answers ready for Nigeria. You must have those good stories. But also, please, let's not forget the power of the media. The mass media also has such an important effect on perception building that I think we're not using the importance of that as government to build the brand. And that's something that I think channels, having done such a great job now, needs to help us have a collaborative effort to know that all of us must decide what percentage of good do we want to show the public and what percentage of not so good. So we all have a role to play.
What about international media? What's their role in all of this?
That is why we must dialogue. If you have things for international media to counter, I'll give you an example. I was in the UK when the Motalab situation broke out. And what I found was that by the minute, there were issues on being discussed by the British public at that point. And I was waiting. I remembered we have an embassy that is in the UK, for goodness sake. I didn't see any statement. It took forever. Whether it's red tapeism, I don't know. Eventually, the minister then came out. I think it was about 12 midday. You can imagine how much information has spun around the world in that split second. If the moment the Motalab story broke out, which was not so good, we had a response by, after all, the ambassador to the UK for Nigeria, we would have had, at least he must be able to say something about his country. That will help us realize that there's a quick response. At least, as people are taking that information, there's a balance. Don't forget that people don't go out of their way to pick up information. It's as they're walking around that whatever information, and they're being bombarded with things left, right, and center, night and day. Now, if you don't balance the information such that they have something else to know about that situation, then there's a problem, especially where it was true. You see, if it wasn't true, I mean, it will die a natural death because word of mouth, the truth will always come out.
Nigerians don't do suicide. This is very strange to us. We need to really dig into this child's background.
If I'm aware, in the world, other countries had about 1 million. For this to have happened, this is historic, and this is out of the norm. And it's something that would have said people that this is not us.
It's a blip.
And you can't brand 150 million Nigerians. Don't forget, we should use our strength of our population to do branding. Please let us get one slogan all of us will have to say and build on, and I'm sure we'll get somewhere.
What you have just said.
Yes, please.
The dialogue is on. One of those that would happen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We are discussing the issue of Nigeria's image, whose responsibility, who's going to manage it. It's holding at the Muson Center a colloquium on Nigeria's image. That dialogue has started because we are all concerned. That's what you must give Nigerians. Everybody is concerned. Yes. What are we going to do about
experts, PR man? We're going to give you the bill for that. Go on.
Yes, we are all concerned about these issues, and we are discussing them. We are dialoguing. We are not just dialoguing. We're trying to draw up action plans. The Minister of Information, everybody come. Let's agree. Let's get involved and do these things right, because it's doing damage to us. You saw the figures. Another one, the Anhalt Nations Brands Index, we are not even mentioned at all. We are not there at all. So everything that is happening, all the surveys, and surveys are about perception.
Yeah.
All the surveys are showing us in
negative,
poor light,
yes.
in the Committee of Nations, giving our resources, giving what we have. I've just mentioned that we have a heritage and culture brand that is being projected by Nollywood. We have a sports brand. We are known for so much, but we are not highlighting those things. We're not talking about them.
Now, I want to ask your opinion about the times when the federal government has employed foreign agencies to come and manage our image. What did you think at that time?
Yeah, if you would permit me, I would like to maybe take your first question on international media.
Okay.
International media have no obligation to project Nigeria in a positive light.
Nothing at
We
stake.
must understand that. Secondly,
Nothing to lose.
they are also working to agendas of their own nations.
Yeah.
All right. So the more caricature they can caricature us and make us look stupid, the better for them. And they gain advantage in the community of nations simply because we look second-rated. Okay. So engaging international media is a position that we have to have. And we have to also tell them to tell our stories the way we want to tell our stories. I listened to Chimamanda, the lady.
Chimamanda.
Yeah.
Amanda.
I listened to her speak at Oxford once. And by the time she finished, and finished talking to these people at Oxford, everybody was convinced Nigeria was a great nation, just by one person. And she told them that you guys are painting pictures of us that are not correct. How would you believe that a nation that you have caricatured so badly will produce someone like me? There is a disconnect, it's a dissonance.
Yeah.
So we need to manage that. Now, coming to your second question about the foreigners coming to brand Nigeria, come on, it's an absurdity. It's absurd. It's absurd. I am not. What is the passion that the person is going to put behind that job? Does he love Nigeria? Does he know
More than
Nigeria?
Nigerians?
I mean, when we have Nigerians that are competent to do the job, many Nigerians that are competent to do the job. Sometimes we think the foreigner is going to solve our problem, but foreigner can't solve our problem. This nation is our nation. We're going to build it. And the sooner we came to the reality that the solutions are actually with us, the better for everybody. I know, and at the end of the day, an Englishman can't write advertising copy like a Nigerian man will write advertising copy.
For
Why?
Nigeria.
Yeah, for Nigeria, because does he understand our lingo? Does he understand what we're talking about? If we say swagger, does he understand what swagger really means? He doesn't understand, so he's going to communicate his own mind. And we have issues there, which I think, honestly, we need to start addressing. We need to talk to government. Government, please, don't do this again. Let's get, like Bumi said, let's get a think tank together that can actually begin to analyze this problem and solve it.
Nachido, some time ago, a few well-known international journalists visited Nigeria, and sadly for us, they visited Lagos. They picked the wrong sides of town to visit and project as Nigeria. In fact, one came in search of pirates. Ross Kemp came looking for pirates in Nigeria, and for some strange reason, he never found any, even though they're there. But they also are making efforts to come in and disseminate negative information about Nigeria. Is there anything we can do about that?
In this age, the information age, you have to get actively involved. What happens when they come? Oftentimes, there are 1,001 hurdles, not one helping hand, not one person saying, oh, you want to come to Nigeria? Come. I have 1, 2, 3. Content. The media thrives on content. What content are you feeding them? The man applies for a visa and is coming. There is no one that has said, we have to set the agenda with this guy. Once he lands, we will take him to 1, 2, 3. He has his own
tells
agenda.
them where he wants
yes,
to
he
go.
has his own agenda, but you then have to shift the
Tailor
goalpost, tailor it to what you want, but you have to make it interesting because he needs to tell a story. So, what stories are we telling? That's the point about bringing in international agencies. For God's sake, one of the problems that you have, a disconnect between government and the people, is the quality of communication that is happening. And it's happening because government at all levels has not made a conscious effort to use the professionals in marketing, in advertising, in public relations to tell the stories. They just issue news releases. That won't do. No, sir, it won't do. We have to use the tools and the professionals that are available to tell the story. The Nigerian story needs to be told at all levels and told well. So when they come, someone needs to engage them. Because that is not happening, the guys have the run of the field and they are looking in the gutter.
And let me add just the point I quickly want to make. Don't forget, they have an agenda. People manage by objectives, and they have commercial objectives. They want to sell. Sometimes they have to project negative things to be able to get NGO money out of these foreign countries. Because if you're going to help the poor people, in quotes, in Africa, and you don't show that they are really suffering, how can they get this money out of the government? So we have to understand that it's driven by an agenda. But we also have to have our own agenda to say, do we want assistance or we want cooperation? It's about how you set the agenda. And back to what you said, that you will not get foreign direct investment. It depends on your terms. If you go as a beggar, they will treat you as a beggar. If you go on the fact that, look, we have things to offer. We are equal partners at the seat. You have a lot to gain from us. We have a lot to gain from you. It's all about trying to balance the act. But like you said, we all, collectively, all of us must be in the same think tank to be able to take each professional from the TV to the and let us project those things that we want so that the foreign media also have other things to say. But I had another perspective. That wasn't my experience. Don't you know that when most of these foreigners come, they live with the fact that they say, oh, I never realized that I had such a good time. Where did all this come from?
Yeah. Okay. Your final word, I will start straight from you. In terms of what we as individuals, because we have all agreed, sort of, that it's not all about what the government is doing, it's about what we're doing. Final word in just a couple of sentences. What do we need to do as individuals to help to create the right perception about Nigeria?
First, thank you very much for that question. First, I always tell myself and my family and children, say, be the Nigeria that you want people to be. And it starts by simple things. I want a clean environment, so I don't throw things on the floor. If all of us in Nigeria decide that don't throw rubbish anywhere in the gutter, put it in the right place, that already will make Nigeria clean. You know, the whole of Nigeria clean. Simple things. I don't want people to have a negative perception of my country. So I will do what is right when it is due. I don't have to jump the queue because I don't want to. I will try in my own. You know what I'm saying? Those little things that make people look like we are all civilized people, which we all are. We can do those little things. Little things as being conscientious in your work without having somebody to put it, you know, because it speaks. Why are they bringing foreigners? Because they're more conscientious in their work, so to speak. These are the things. I'm just saying, let's start with the little things. Then we can ask the government to do the bigger things, and we all buy it. So that is my suggestion.
Okay.
Start with ourselves.
All right, your 2 sentences. Not that long, though.
Values. Values. The old traditional Nigerian societies, whether it's Igbo, whether it's Hausa, we had communal values. The things that we held there that we said, this is an abomination. Don't do it. We need to have that sense of values in Nigeria, a collective value that says to us, 419 is not on. We don't celebrate you no matter how rich you are because you've done 419. Once we agree on values, we will move forward.
Okay. Mr. Abraham?
I think I'd like to go with Chido a bit on this. The values are very important to us as people. But like he said, those values seem to be old values. But we need to make them the new values. And I believe that we should try and make a delineation between what we call old Nigeria and new Nigeria. And then sell a vision of this new Nigeria. If you want to be part of this new Nigeria, these are the values we want you to have. And I think we can move the nation forward this way.
Shikena.
Yes. Okay.
We have been chatting with Bumi Oke, President, Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, Mr. Chido Wakama, President, PR CAN, and Mr. Charles Abraham, GMD, Lawson, Thomas and Colleagues Advertising. Thank you all very much for coming to look at this very important topic with us.
Thank you.